right? So, a lot of things have come out now about the Mystics and that really, really absurd, berserk show we saw on a basketball court yesterday where multiple players went after Sophie Cunningham. I think we know why. All right. I think we know why. So
the Indiana Fever fan base just activated full courtroom mode, and Brittney Sykes is on trial in the court of public outrage. After Sophie Cunningham took a fall that looked like it was sponsored by gravity itself, fans are now screaming, "Suspender!" louder than a coach arguing with a ref. Was it dirty? Was it a drama? Or is this just WNBA Thunderdome, elbows and emotions edition? One thing's for sure, this saga's juicier than a halftime orange slice.
Yes, Sophie Cunningham got injured. Okay, she got injured. She landed on her ankle the wrong way. Let's go ahead and look through the play right now. All right. So here she is here, coming for the rebound. Boom, and lands on Ryan Howard's foot the wrong way, and she was holding it, man.
Sophie Cunningham goes down, and suddenly, Indiana Fever fans transform into the Supreme Court of basketball ethics. 1 minute they're clapping politely for a layup, and the next they're lighting their pitchforks, drafting suspension petitions on Microsoft Word like it's a high school group project. Brittney Sykes, according to Indiana Twitter law, she's now a wanted felon with a rap sheet that includes playing too hard and hurting our feelings.
It turns out that we have seen, like, Stephanie White has been talking about it. Stephanie White has talked about Sophie Cunningham, and we also have news from Chloe Peterson about how she looked at practice today, and obviously, like, it's Tuesday.
Because this wasn't just any player who got hurt, oh no. This was Sophie Cunningham, the WNBA's unofficial ambassador of chaos, carnage, and combative charisma. You don't just guard Sophie, you survive her. She doesn't dribble, she charges. She doesn't talk trash, she files psychological warfare on the court. She's the kind of player who could elbow you in the throat, hit a three, wink at your grandma in the stands, and still call you soft.
That moment, everybody was scared in the live stream, man. I was holding my breath, my face was fixed a certain way that looked crazy. I mean, we were scared in there, okay?
She's also, for all the chirping, chipping, and chirruping, one of the most beloved and hated players in the game, equal parts villain and icon, the Dennis Rodman of women's hoops, minus the Vegas vacations with Carmen Electra. She puts butts in seats and rages at her opponents. And let's not pretend otherwise. Sophie Cunningham has done more to spice up women's basketball than most marketing departments with 7-figure budgets. But then, the injury happened.
they are already now attacking Sophie Cunningham. Oh, they're mad. The MAGA Barbies got them angry. They're cheering on violence against this basketball player. Sophie Cunningham just got through by a rookie. And here we go.
Shot too strong there from Olsen. Cunningham pulls down. Here's that feistiness.
There you go.
She is fierce in the game. And I know it wasn't announced that Caitlin Clark wouldn't play until right before. But this is a preseason game where Clark is not available.
A real one. Not a flop. Not a give me the Oscar performance. She went down. Hard. And suddenly, the tornado known as Sophie was benched. No more borderline fouls. No more ESPN mic'd up moments where she casually threatens to eat someone's soul. Just silence. The WNBA was noticeably calmer. Too calm. Like the villain left the movie 30 minutes early, and now we're just watching character development in peace.
All right, black and white sports supporters, we're going to talk about the Indiana Fever. No Caitlin.
And with the recent Caitlin Clark mania boosting their media attention from who to hey, they're on ESPN3 now, Indiana fans have developed a taste for spotlight. And once they got a sniff of drama, oh honey, they inhaled it. Enter Brittney Sykes, a defensive maestro, the kind of player who moves like a cheat code and guards you like she's trying to guess your ATM pin. Her defense is so tight it should come with a parental advisory. She's fast, she's fierce, and she takes nothing off. Not possessions, not games, and definitely not from a returning Sophie Cunningham. One contested play later, Sophie goes down again. Not a scuffle, not a brawl, just defense. Basketball, contact, you know, the thing that happens in a contact sport. But this is Indiana, and logic is on vacation. What followed was a complete public meltdown. You would have thought Brittney Sykes stole someone's puppy, canceled Christmas, and poured ranch dressing on a deep dish pizza. Suspend her, fans cried. She targeted Sophie. This is a crime. Arrest her immediately and sentence her to bench duty.
And that's Kiki Arafin, and I got to tell you, here we go with the smiling like you've done. I don't get it. This is the worst part of the WNBA. It is.
We went from defensive play to federal offense faster than you can say overreaction. Let's break this down. Sykes did her job. Sophie got knocked. Was it physical? Sure. Was it dirty? Only if you've never watched sports before. Was it malicious? Only in the minds of Indiana fans who think every WNBA game is secretly a hit job orchestrated against their favorite player. Now, it's hilarious because Indiana has spent the last several months demanding that women's basketball be taken more seriously. They want the league treated like the NBA. But the minute a player defends like it's Game 7 of the finals, suddenly it's a crime against humanity. This is the same fan base that screamed, "Let them play all season long," right until someone played too hard. Imagine being that soft. Fever fans wanted a hallmark return. They expected Sophie to drop 30, hit a buzzer beater, and throw up a peace sign to the heavens. Instead, she got bodied by a defender who didn't feel like giving up a bucket just because Twitter wanted a feel-good story. Brittney Sykes isn't a villain. She's just not playing by your script.
Now, looking from that angle, I don't know, man. It looked like she grabbed her, slung her down. Then it looked like for 1 minute Sophie had her arm just a tad bit, so maybe she was trying to sling her off. But from this angle right here, it looked like...
And let's be honest, if this exact same play had happened in reverse, if Sophie had decked Sykes while contesting a layup, Fever fans would have printed her face on a candle and called it the Holy Block. ESPN would have posted 19 slow-mo angles, and Twitter would have celebrated it like the moon landing. But because it happened to Sophie, Indiana's newly anointed Lady Liberty of the hardwood, suddenly it's a national emergency. The moment Brittney Sykes dared to block her shot into the upper atmosphere like she was launching a weather balloon, people acted like they just witnessed the fall of Rome. Brittney didn't even foul her. She just yelled freedom and sent that layup into orbit. But because Sophie's now the sacred saint of Fever Nation, we're being force-fed outrage with a side of melodrama. Suddenly, everyone's clutching pearls, asking, "Is she okay?" Yes, Karen. She's not made of paper mache and prayer. She's built like a linebacker who took ballet once. She'll ice it, bench press a small car, and probably start beef with a ref by the weekend. Let's not pretend she's some fragile woodland creature. This is the same woman who's been handing out elbows like party favors since 2018. She's fine. It's her pride that took the real hit, and even that will be flexing by game day.
Spicy Sophie Cunningham, you could call her, because she was out there, she was feisty, she was fiery, and all that. But one of her team...
You'd honestly think she drop-kicked Sophie midair, insulted Indiana's corn supply, and ran off with Caitlin Clark's Gatorade. The drama was so loud it practically needed its own HBO special, and no, we're not done. The fans started acting like Sykes was the final boss in a video game, complete with fire powers and a criminal record. Meanwhile, Brittney's probably just icing her knees and wondering how guarding someone turned into a federal offense. Because now, we have the post-game think pieces, the TikToks, the slow motion edits set to Adele songs. This is what they did to Sophie. They cry like she's Let's also not ignore the fact that Sophie herself probably doesn't even want this drama. She's a competitor, a heat-seeking missile with a ponytail. She's not begging for suspensions. She's probably mad she didn't get the foul call herself.
Be Brittney Sykes flinging Sophie once again. Now, I don't know if this was personal. I don't know if this was a, hey, don't talk to my rookie moment. I don't know, man. But
She didn't return from injury to be pampered like a celebrity on a spa day. Sophie came back with full villain energy, ready to stir the pot, flip the script, slam a few threes, and maybe accidentally on purpose hip-check someone into the photographer's pit. But now, Indiana fans are acting like she's made of glass and dreams. Suddenly, they want to swaddle her like a newborn, hand her a stress ball, and ban anyone from looking at her too aggressively. Bubble wrap? Please, she'd pop it just for fun. This woman isn't your grandma's porcelain figurine from the china cabinet. She's a full kamapped thrill ride in high tops. Sophie didn't build her brand by playing nice. She built it by talking trash, diving headfirst into chaos, and making defenders question their life choices. She thrives in tension. She inhales drama for breakfast. And if you think she wants to be protected, you clearly haven't watched her throw an elbow with a smile since 2019.
Here we go. Knee Kiki to whack her again. Guys, it's where we're at. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Right there, you can see Sophie telling her after that flagrant, you don't mother effing do that. You don't mother effing do that.
Brittney Sykes didn't just play defense. She tried to reenact a WWE SmackDown finale in the middle of a basketball game. And naturally, the moment anyone dared to raise an eyebrow, her defenders came stampeding out of the woodwork, crying, "Think of the children!" Like Sykes wasn't out there body-checking someone mid-air, but instead gently escorting a toddler across a crosswalk. Please, let's cut the nonsense. This isn't just part of the game. This was a deliberate hit wrapped in athletic tape and passed off as hustle. If Sykes wanted to prove she had intensity, she could have started by not launching herself like a missile at someone's ribcage. It's called defense, not demolition derby. And now we've got people acting like she deserves a medal for playing hard. No, she deserves a seat, as in on the bench. Possibly in street clothes, possibly escorted there by security.
A huge target on our backs. Obviously, the Fever, the most hyped team, the most talked about team, and now a team that has some protection within, right? Some support within, some toughness within, which bodes well for once Caitlin Clark is back on the floor, because you're now surrounding her with the talent. Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston were there before, but the toughness as
The WNBA isn't Bible camp. No one's asking for hymnals. But we're also not pretending that assault with a basketball is a legitimate strategy. You don't get to clobber someone like you're auditioning for a linebacker position and then pout when people call for accountability. 1 minute she's diving into opponents like it's dodgeball deathmatch. Next minute, it's all tears and victimhood. Spare us. If you can dish it out like that, you should be able to take the criticism and the suspension. And don't even start with the "this is just how the game is played" defense. No, it isn't. There's playing tough. And then there's what Brittney did, which was somewhere between reckless and downright dangerous. If the league shrugs this off, don't be surprised when the next offensive effort sends someone to urgent care. Honestly, if the WNBA wants to keep letting Sykes and others throw elbows like it's amateur hour at a boxing gym, then they better start handing out liability waivers at the entrance. Because at this point, we're one defensive stop away from a stretcher being part of the regular game equipment. And yes, we're talking to you, Brittney. If you want to play like it's full combat rugby, there's a league for that. And it's not this one.
So Sophie Cunningham has been injured. She has been injured the last couple of days, and obviously she rolled her ankle in the preseason game, and it does not look too bad.
So let's wrap this up. Sophie Cunningham is still that girl. Fiery, fearless, and one foul away from a reality show called Courtside Carnage. Her injury comeback was real, inspiring, and very on brand. But the moment she stepped back onto the court, she entered the jungle again. And in the jungle, you don't get extra points for sentiment. Brittney Sykes, she played her game. Unapologetic, aggressive, legit. And if you're mad about that, maybe the problem isn't her defense. Maybe the problem is your expectations. And Indiana Fever fans, take a breath. Log off. Touch grass. You don't need to call Adam Silver or start a GoFundMe for justice for Sophie. She's not in danger. She's not being hunted. She got fouled. And she'll probably foul someone else before next Tuesday. But go ahead, keep the drama going. Because if nothing else, you've proven one thing. Women's basketball is officially here. Because only a real, thriving, passionate fan base would be this delusional over a basic defensive play.